Yeah. Well, we'll take a couple more. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Everyone have an outline? Everyone have something to write with? Okay, good. Well, this week is going to be week 3, going through the book of Daniel. Good. We're going to be doing a lot of class participation tonight, so we're just getting you warmed up. This is week 3, going through the book of
Daniel.
Okay. My name is Gary Schroeder. Haven't been with you all before. My wife and I, with our 2 kids, live here in Fort Collins, ages 13 and 10. Those are my kids' ages, not my age and my wife. Hard to believe. Dad of a 13-year-old. I feel very fortunate to be with you all tonight. And I want to tell you a little bit why. Actually, how many here is 18 years old? 19? 20, 21, 22. Okay. When I was your age, let me just put it like this. I grew up in small town Texas, and I don't know if some of y'all grew up like this, but I grew up in a Christian home. That's like a technical term, you know what I mean? Like, One thing we never had in my home growing up was the Bible. We just never had it. And I don't know why this is, but from like a young boy, I had a great respect for the Bible. The problem was I didn't know what it said, and I sure didn't know what it meant. But when I went to undergrad, I went to school in Texas, I met a club just like this club here, and it changed my whole life. Okay, why? Because I had an opportunity to get into the Bible, to understand. They helped me to understand what the Bible said, and then to have genuine encounters with the living God that the Bible talks about. Okay? So I have a kind of an agenda. It's that the same thing would happen to you. You're maybe going a certain way when you came to college here. I hope after your time in college here, you go a totally different way. Okay, that's what it says in the book of Matthew. These people came, they were on a certain path, they met Christ, they went another way. Okay, I hope this for all of you. Maybe before we get into tonight's main topic, I can cover a few things from weeks 1 and 2. Who all was here for week 1? Okay, week 2? Okay, good. So a couple of points. Lamar covered in week 1. Okay, I thought these points were so good. Okay, the first thing he said that stood out to me, he said that the book of Daniel is for us today. That might seem a little strange because these things happened thousands of years ago. Okay, actually, let's do. Make sure you're with me. Let's do some Bible trivia. Okay, so for time, we're just going to shout these things out. Okay, this semester we're on the book of Daniel. Is Daniel in the Old Testament or the New Testament?
Old Testament.
Okay, we're starting good. They're going to get harder. All right. There's another guy in the Old Testament. His name also starts with a D. His name is David. Is Daniel before or after David?
After.
Okay. All right. We're warming up. Okay. One of David's, like his main son that the Bible talks about is a person named Solomon. Very good. We're getting there. Okay. There's these kings of Israel. Saul, then David, then Solomon. After Solomon died, does anybody know what happened to the kingdom? They split into two. We're going to do some extra credit bonus for you. Okay. There was a northern kingdom and a southern kingdom. What was the northern kingdom called? Shout it out, don't be. This is like 301, 4, yeah, Israel. Good. Okay, what was the southern kingdom called? Judah. So I don't even know if you picked this up. Paul last week, shared some verses from 1 Kings, and it talked about this guy who was the king of Judah. Okay, this is going to come into play in a little bit. The northern kingdom was Israel. Okay, after it split, after a couple of years, a group of people came in and captured that northern kingdom? Does anyone know what those people were called? Say it loud. The Assyrians. The Assyrians. Okay, and there's books in the Bible that talk to those that northern kingdom. That northern kingdom, as far as history goes, kind of just it's like a finger in a bucket of water. They're just like, where did they go? They're just gone. But the southern kingdom remained. Okay, now the southern kingdom was okay. A few hundred years after this northern kingdom happened, another group of people came in and captured them, and who was that people called? Babylonians. Okay, that's right where we are now. Okay, so you have a little bit of a history through the Old Testament, and that's right where we are. These Babylonians came in, captured the people. That's where Daniel is. Okay, those are great facts. We should know those facts. But the point Lamar made in week 1, Daniel is a book for us today. Okay, not just history. It's for you right now. When you go home to your apartment, when you have your test tomorrow, when you got to go to your job later, all these things apply to us today. And we should do well to read all of these things in the Old Testament through the lens of the New Testament. Okay, I got to go quicker. But number 2 that Lamar said in week 1, I hope y'all pick this up. I want you to write it down. I hope everyone has a pen. He used this expression. We said, we need a battle buddy. I hope everyone picked that up. Battle buddy. So what I want you to write down is battle buddy equals. Okay? All right. I thought it was so helpful because not just the buddy. There's nothing wrong with having a buddy. Nothing wrong with friends. But he said battle buddy. Why? Because we're in a battle. The Christian life absolutely is a battle. And we can't do it alone. We need each other to go on in the Christian life together. Okay, so I said battle buddy equals. Hope everyone wrote that down. Don't do it yet, but I want you to write down. No one's going to ask you about, don't stand up and tell us who this was, but I want you to write down the name of the first battle buddy that comes to mind. All right, and you say, well, how do I know? How do I know? There's a number of ways, but I just want you to pick this one up. Can you pray with them? Can you pray with? I'm talking like, pick up your phone right now. It's like, I've got a test tomorrow morning, and I'm stressed out. Can we pray? Not even just pray for you, but pray with you. Okay? So if you have somebody, go ahead and write them down. If you don't, so write their name down. Battle buddy equals, put that person's name down. If you don't have anybody, you can put a little question mark, a little mark. That will be your indication. Like, Lord, I need somebody. I need a battle buddy while I'm here in college. All right, I'm still reviewing here, but week 2, Paul said a couple of things I wanted to call out. He said that when God moves in a particular way, he moves through who? Does anybody remember? I'll give you like an easy way to, this is like a dunk here. So does he move through older people or younger people? Okay, all right. God moves through young people almost exclusively. You know, when I was in college, we were talking, I studied history, and I did a little project one time, and the title of this report was Young Men Called by God. You know the oldest, this was all through church history. Do you know the oldest person on there? Like, how old do you think the oldest person? These were as far as I could find, really prominent people in church history. What's like an old number to you? These are people in church history. 30, 34. Martin Luther, you heard of Martin Luther, he's 34. That's kind of ancient. Most of these people were like early 20s or teens. Mary, Elizabeth, the disciples, Daniel, his companions, young people. And I don't know if the person who said this last week, I thought it was so good. Do you know why he moves through young people? Does anyone remember what she said last week? Say it loud.
You can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Can't teach an old dog new tricks. Okay? Now the trick is to get older, but not get older. You know what I mean? Okay. The last thing that Paul covered, I thought it was so helpful, is Daniel's name. You think about this. How old, when Paul shared last week, how old is Daniel? Does anybody remember the number? 14. Somewhere in this range. It's hard to say. And then you say, we're going to cover this tonight a little bit. Think about it. He was captured. Maybe his parents are no longer living. We're changing your name. We want to change your name. We're going to change your diet. We're going to change your education. We're going to change your language. Daniel says, no, I'm not going to do it. I said, how can you have that kind of courage? Well, Paul helped us see, even though Daniel was, so to speak, only 14 years old, for 14 years, every time he heard his name, what does his name mean? Does anybody remember? Say just loud.
God is my judge.
God is my judge. Every time mom says, Daniel, time for dinner, God is my judge. God is my judge. You are not my judge, Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar. God is my judge. Okay, and so all of us have to have the same experience. Remember what we said last week? I am a Christian. That's who we are. How about we say that together? I am a Christian. Ready, go. I am a Christian. Okay, very good. All right, well, that was a whole lot of review. I've got to go much quicker. If we don't cover everything on this handout tonight, don't worry about it. This topic is so important, we're going to hit it again next week. Okay? So if we don't get to all of it, we'll get to some things next week. All right. My paper is a little different than yours, but at the top you have, it's on this here, it says, Daniel Stand Diet, and there's a little subtitle. Okay, let's read that subtitle together. Ready? Go. What is shaping you? One more time. What is shaping you? Okay. I want you to think about this as we're having a time together tonight. What is shaping you? And the battle, the battle is over shaping. I want you to pick this up. We need a battle buddy. We're in a battle, but what's the battle about? Okay, what's the strategy? What's the goal? The battle is over shaping. Okay, we'll read a couple of verses and then I'll unpack that a little bit. Okay, let's have the guys read Romans 12:2. Ready? Go.
Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind.
Okay, I want you to circle, do not be conformed. Do not be conformed. And I want you to underline to this world. To this world. Okay? All right, let's have the girls read Romans 8. Ready? Go.
He also predestinated to be conformed to the image of his Son.
Okay, so circle in that verse, to be conformed. And then underline, to the image of his Son. To the image of his Son. Okay, I want you to pick up, I had a slide on this, I took it out, so I'll just have to do it with my hands. Imagine a big continuum here. Okay, on one end of this spectrum is being conformed to, what does Romans 12:2 say you can be conformed to? The world. Okay, so shaping and conforming, just kind of think of those as synonyms. You can be conformed to this world. Okay, there's another end of the spectrum. You can be conformed to something else. Be conformed to what's the other thing? Okay. So the battle is over shaping. The battle is what we're being conformed into. You can be shaped. You can be conformed into this world. The world is, if you look into Greek and other things, it's really Satan's system, the things he's trying to do. Okay, you can be shaped. You can be conformed into that. Or you can be conformed to the image of his Son. Now, I want you to pick this up. This is a little heavy, but you should know this. You're always being shaped. 24/7, 365. You're always being shaped. Okay? You can't be passive. There's no neutral ground. Okay? I know that's a little heavy, and we skipped over one of the first verses, but in Roman numeral 1, if you want to be not taken advantage of, you have to not be ignorant of his schemes, okay? And one of these schemes is just like, I'm just living life. I'm not doing anything bad. I'm doing good, I'm not doing that bad. Like, I'm just being shaped into a good person. Actually, that's not the case. I mentioned I have kids, and I know what my kids like, more or less. Like I know what they like to eat, how they like to fix their hair, what kind of clothes they like to wear. And I could say this about myself sometimes too, maybe this resonates, but sometimes with my kids, like yesterday, it's like, Dad, I love pizza. And then like the next day, it's like, oh my God, Dad, like nobody eats pizza, or I won't say which of my kids that was, but or like one of my kids yesterday is like, why do we even have to fix our hair? Like no one pays attention to anybody's hair ever. The next day, man, I got to get that low tapered fade, man. I need it right now. It's like, okay, what are they doing? What are they doing?
Informed by other opinions.
They're conforming. They're conforming. I said when I grew up in, I don't know if I said Texas, but I grew up in small town Texas in a Christian home. But a miraculous thing happened in high school. I actually met the Lord. I got saved. Do you know where I got saved? I'm talking like if you think of the U.S. and like you think of Texas, like I was from there. I got saved in Estes Park, Colorado. Of all the places on the earth. Okay? We took this, it took us 18 hours to drive. It was terrible. We got there though, it was a FCA camp, and they kept saying this phrase the whole week. So much so that we put it in our weight room, our field house back home, and the phrase was this: show me your friends, and I will show you your future. You might want to write that one down. Show me your friends, and I will show you your future. Okay? It means so much. If you want to be someone who's on the positive side of this spectrum, being conformed, if you will, being shaped into the image of His Son, you got to be real smart about who you surround yourself with. You want those to be those battle buddies. Where's Paul? How much time do I have left? Okay, I got 5 minutes. We can wrap up in 5 minutes. All right, let me hit this one point, and I might take like 7.5 minutes or something. All right, how to say this? Okay, my full name, just work with me here. My full name is Gary James Schroeder II. The reason I'm the second is because there's a first. Okay, my dad. Okay, my dad, he was a judge, and he would take me oftentimes to the courthouse, and he would introduce me to his colleagues. Okay, and he's a nice Southern gentleman. This is my son, and he'd have these clerks in particular. They would introduce me, and the clerks he would say, "This is my son," and they would look at him and be like, "Oh, really, Judge?" And then they would stoop down to me and like get right in my face. I can still smell the perfume, like right in my face. What do you think they would say? You look just like your dad. Oh my gosh. Okay. But here's the point. Because I have my dad's life, I was destined to be conformed into His image. You are not destined. You have a choice. Okay? And I want to, let's go, I'm not sure where it is on your sheet, but you see Daniel, the verses in Daniel 1, 7, and 8. Let's just pick up 8, and let's all read 8 together. If you have it ready, go.
But Daniel set his heart not to defile himself with the king's choice provision.
All right, read the first 2 words again. Just the first 2 words. All right, read them again.
But Daniel.
Okay. All right. You're being shaped all the time. Every time you go to CSU, every time you're at home, every time you open up your laptop, you pull up your phone, all these different things coming at you, shape you. Hey, let's just be the world. Come on, let's just be the world. Let's just do it. You can say no. You can set your heart against all of that. All right, let me just give you an example here. Give me like 3 extra minutes, man, Pull out the trap door. Imagine this scenario, and I want you to just like really imagine this. Okay, you're here with Christian students, you're doing foundations, you're doing Bible studies, you're doing one-on-ones. I hope you're in different homes of alumni doing the whole thing. Okay, but probably some of you have friends that they're just a little different. They don't do the Christian thing with you. Now imagine this is your last semester. Okay, you have this interaction with them, and it just comes out, and you say, "Oh yeah, well I'm a Christian." Now imagine these 2 reactions you might get. What if the reaction is like this? "Oh, really?" And then nothing else, because they're kind and they're not going to say anything. What is embedded in that "oh, really"? I mean, just think about that old law clerk. Like, "Oh my gosh, really? You look just like the world. When I see all these other people, everything they watch, everything they listen to, how they dress, how they talk, you look just like them. Oh my gosh." Now imagine, same people. "Yeah, I'm a Christian. I didn't have the words, but I knew something was different about you. I knew something was different about you." Okay, you have a choice. Okay, and you got to make that choice every day. I know I'm out of time, but I want to leave with this one thing. There's several things on the outline we'll have to cover next week with Scott. This idea, Daniel setting his heart. On the one hand, in Daniel, I'm not going to do all these things. Okay, but I want to zoom out just a little bit and just key you in on setting your heart. Okay, resolving in your heart, purposing in your heart. The Bible would describe that, if you ever heard this word before, is consecration. Consecration. Okay? Maybe you've never heard that. Maybe you've never had that experience before. Before we meet again next Monday, I want you to consider taking some time to be alone. This isn't something you talk, you give a public thing about it. This is your time before the Lord, and you do this. You say, "What do you do?" Okay. But I want to do something just to get you a little head start, because you may never had this experience before. I want us to pray together tonight. Okay? I'll pray, and if what I'm praying resonates in your heart, make it your prayer. This doesn't change the time you would have personally with the Lord, but this would just get you just a little jump start. Okay? So let's close our eyes so we're not distracted. And if I'm praying, just make it your own prayer. Lord, we love you. We thank you that you bought us with a price. We are not our own. And because of this, Lord, we give ourselves to you. We open our whole heart to you. And we, like Daniel, choose right here, right now, and for the rest of our lives to set our heart on you and you alone. We give you permission to do whatever you want to do in us, through us, to us. We're okay with that, Lord, because we love you. And we're here at school, so we also give you what we're studying, how we're spending our time. We give you our friends. We give you our job, if we have one, our bank account. We give you our future, what we listen to, what we watch, what we say. Lord, everything we put into your hands. And based on that decision, we ask you to give us every experience we need to make us fully shaped and conformed to the image of your Son. Amen. I think I'm out of time.